Hello, I am Zeynep, a native Turkish speaker and a full-time Turkish teacher. Here I have some tools which you should know about before you start studying Turkish. Based on more than 10 years of teaching experience, I will put them in order of usefulness for you so you can know which tools will give you the most power. This video is for you if you are a complete beginner and you don't know where to start your Turkish learning journey. So keep watching to feel ready to take the next step. If you are familiar with learning languages, you might have already heard of Anki, spaced repetition, or flashcards. Anki is a program that uses spaced repetition to help vocabulary stick better using flashcards. And flashcards are literally cards that have a front and a back side. The front side has the Turkish word and the back side has the definition in whatever language you understand. The program uses flashcards to gradually expose you to new vocabulary while keeping track of what you struggle to remember. It shows you what you do remember less frequently and what you struggle to remember more frequently. And you can spend 10 minutes on Anki every day to build a very solid vocabulary at a steady pace. You do need to take some time to create the deck, but that is added study time, which I think is good. So Anki is extremely powerful because not only does it help you retain vocabulary, it also familiarizes you with sentence structures. You can add audio and pictures to your flashcards to make the experience more engaging, giving your brain more content to form associations. And for these reasons, I rank Anki number 2 on the list of tools that will help you learn Turkish. Duolingo makes learning into a dopamine-filled activity by gamifying the whole experience. And this makes it very appealing for language learners because, let's admit, learning a new language isn't easy. And while this is good, I should add that some translations on Duolingo are somewhat inaccurate. For example, Duolingo uses and teaches erkek as man, but it's more commonly used to mean male. You wouldn't say, look at that erkek to mean, look at that man in Turkish. I really like how Duolingo keeps you motivated and the use of pictures helps with vocabulary retention, and the audio is also beneficial, but I think it relies a bit too much on translation. Another thing is that it introduces grammar in a very strange fashion. For example, the first every lesson begins with imperatives and then the next one uses a tense that is normally taught at B1 level, and many students come to me thinking that this tense is what they should use to say, for example, I exercise, but it isn't, and it sounds really odd. And these are some of the mistakes that I observe very often in students who have studied using Duolingo before. This is okay because my students don't use Duolingo as the core of their studies. But for these reasons, I will rank Duolingo a number 5. A course, a textbook, or a teacher. I want to consider all these as one because everyone will have their own preference, but this is probably what you would think of as the core of your studies. These give you the grammar and practice you need in order to learn Turkish. Working with a teacher is great, because a teacher will know exactly what your strengths and weaknesses are and adapt the learning experience according to your needs. A teacher will know how to implement more for you and how much and in what context. Continuing with textbooks, I haven't really come across a very good self-study book in Turkish. The most popular ones are designed to be used in a classroom setting with a teacher. But, of course, you can adapt the books to your needs, especially by using the tools from this video. And some of us may prefer to study on our own following a course. A course that implements spaced repetition, listening, reading, writing, and even speaking is very valuable for those of us who like to study at our own pace. I highly recommend checking out my course, Turkish for Busy People, if you are the type of person that wants to start learning Turkish but doesn't know where to begin and has no time to put together a bunch of different tools. You don't need to worry about not having teacher guidance or not having the chance to put your knowledge to practice because this is a course. I am there to always answer your questions and check your assignments. The assignments are the things where you use the language in a very efficient way in the course. Recycling a very useful set of vocabulary and adding a little bit on top at a time for the best retention. So I'm going to rank a teacher, a textbook, or a course number 1. My favorite Turkish to English dictionary. A good old dictionary is indispensable when learning a new language. It assists you while studying with a book, sometimes while studying with a teacher or a course. Although in my one, you go through the vocabulary for each section before you begin, so you know what to expect. But a dictionary is an excellent tool, and Turing is a really good one. I have always loved plain old dictionaries. Some of my students like to use printed dictionaries because they benefit from the time they have to keep the word on their mind while searching for it in the dictionary. Turing is a really good one because when I used to work as a legal translator, I used it a lot because it's really good with terminology, it gives you a bunch of different alternatives, so it's wonderful. So I rank it at number 2 on the list with Anki. Instagram, Facebook and YouTube are great tools for learning Turkish. There is a lot of quality content out there that can help you with immersion, listening practice and much more. You can use these to create your own flashcards on Anki, for example. Instagram is particularly good for this because people post a lot of sentences with accurate translations, but it can be a little bit messy to navigate and search for the content that is suitable for your level and language needs. But I think social media is fantastic to learn Turkish at any level. I rank social media number 3 on the list of tools you need in order to learn Turkish. You can have a conversation with ChatGPT. When you ask it to respond in simple Turkish, it does make the sentences simple in some sense, but it cannot really grade the language it uses. Probably a person with more expertise in AI things will be able to generate better responses, but I have not been able to do that. From my experience, I think it can be confusing for especially beginner learners. And I should also add that ChatGPT doesn't always produce correct Turkish sentences. So I will rank it number 5 alongside Duolingo. DeepL is another AI tool. This one is for translating sentences. It does a near perfect job producing accurate and natural translations. It offers alternatives and can translate words as well. I think it is superior to other translation tools. The only thing is that probably Turkish is not a language that is closely related to the language that you speak. And using comparative methods for incompatible language pairs is likely to interfere with the learning process, especially at beginner levels. DeepL or other translation tools should be used with caution for this reason. Nevertheless, I think it is a superior translation tool. I rank it a 4. I hope you feel more ready to start studying Turkish now. Explore these tools and see which one suits your needs, and let me know which one is your number 1 in the comments. İyi çalışmalar.